CPaaS is communications platform as a service. It's the ability to communicate with your customers in their most preferred channel. Typically, organizations make it organizations' preferred channel because they're not able to integrate all channels, right? So that's what CPaaS does. Any example, since you answered, any example of a company that is a CPaaS platform around the world? Have you guys, in your jobs, in your work, ever heard of it? No? It's a simple activity every developer has to do who's building a B2C platform or any B2C product, right? You have to communicate with your customers. A customer comes onto a website and has to log in. Sometimes you have to authenticate the customer, so you'll send out an OTP. Sending out that OTP is calling out an API that triggers out an SMS to the customer, right? That's a CPaaS platform. When I was moving to lead this business, the first question I asked, why are you making it so complex, right? Eventually it's an API that you have to call, and the API will give you some feedback saying this message has been delivered. So I can then create my own experience as a developer, right? That's what all of us want to do, right? We want to eventually create an experience, and we want to control the way the platform that we work with behaves. Yeah. Surprisingly, Airtel is the only telecom company in the world which has built a CPaaS platform. It was a surprise to me. Yeah, it was very interesting because every telecom around the world has SMS service. Every telecom, right? Otherwise, the SMS won't get delivered. Because eventually, the final fulfillment channel is a telco, right? Not one telco has built a CPaaS platform. Not in India, globally, other than Airtel. I was very surprised. I asked, saying why. You know what it came down to? Any guesses? The answer I got is telcos are very good at buying software as appliances. We actually buy software that we can deploy in our OSS, BSS stacks and then use it like an appliance because we want very little change. We are not nimble. Because we believe if you give something for 300 million customers, the least common denominator is what we want to build for and not change anything. That's the way that most telcos think, and the reason why most telcos don't build a platform or don't build anything close to a SaaS service, right? So I'm going to today talk a little bit about our journey as a telco on why we built something like this and what's one motivation. Second, how we actually built it, right? Because the challenge was, can we shift the way a telco really builds products, right? Because telcos are historically very good at buying multiple products, getting a system integrator to coming and stitching this for you to solve a business problem, right? Because eventually everybody's a FMCG marketing company. You acquire a lot of customers, you sell the same sachet of recharge or same product of postpaid to 300 million customers. There's very little product innovation that you are almost allowed to do. Yeah, so when we were building this product, right? I don't know if this is visible, but these are the challenges we wanted to solve for, right? Which is eventually the end user challenge, saying, can we guarantee or can we give you uptime to an extent that the developer who's designing the behavior of that communication gets? Right, that's challenge number one. It was very difficult for an aggregator or for a multiple hop system to give you guarantee, because eventually you're as good as your next failure, right, or your next link or your next waterfall. And we felt, is there a way that the telco can almost abstract out a network service on a simple API, and the developer works on it directly instead of building out a system, right? So that's one problem. Very simply, flexibility to configure the communication itself, right? Historically, we have people where had very clean websites. You upload an Excel sheet of telephone numbers, the website would send out messages to this base of customers. That's what they would do, right? This is what a lot of us must have seen as SMS products. We wanted to literally give the control back to the enterprise, saying, you got to be able to decide when a person is on your product or your website and a particular communication needs to go out. What is a webhook that you can call and then decide if you want to send out the second communication, right? It's very far away from uploading an Excel sheet, right? Uploading an Excel sheet is almost like a fire and forget job, saying I've said this, I'll wait for the report to come. When the report comes, I'll make the next decision. As again saying, can I look at each customer experience, yeah, and decide what I want to do with that customer? Do I want to send this customer out a message, and in 5 days, if this customer does not react to the link on the message, do I want to call that customer, or do I want to send out a WhatsApp to a customer? Eventually, you are building out smarter and smarter rules which are enriched through multiple data streams that come in, right? How does a platform help you abstract all of that? That's the flexibility challenge, right? That's what each one of us is trying to do, right? We're trying to build out our own customer experience in a way that we are in control of that experience and not an appliance, not a software, not a vendor. That's the key difference between how today businesses and products are built as against they were built multiple years ago, right? So we are actually, one of the biggest problems for us to solve was flexibility. Right? And of course there are other business problems saying, can we give all channels? Can we make it really convenient for someone to only plan the business rule rather than integrating with voice, SMS, WhatsApp, Telegram, and 5 other digital channels or even offline channels, right? So how do you give all of that together, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 2 examples of what we did. So the first one is what we call omni-channel or assured delivery as a product, right? What happens is a customer or a business initiates out an SMS to a customer. It's an API call. You would call that API. Let's say the SMS doesn't get delivered for some reason. The phone is not available. The SMS delivery report is not coming back to us. We are the first to know. As a telco, we are the first to know if the SIM has got that SMS delivered or not. Whether we tell this to our customers or not, we know. And we know exactly when a SIM is latched onto the network. We know exactly when the SMS is actually delivered onto the phone of that customer. Sometimes we also know whether you're on a train and you're reading that SMS, right? But I'm going to not get to that part, right? But let's say the SMS is not delivered, right? As a developer who is the designer of the experience, you want to say, if this SMS does not get delivered, I would like to call this customer, because this could be almost like a login authentication communication, which is very high value for a short period of time. Yeah, so you want to initiate a call. Let's say the call does not go through. Yeah, you want to then initiate, let's say, a WhatsApp message. Now someone can argue saying, if the network is not on and the call is not going, why would the WhatsApp go? Right? Because eventually the WhatsApp also works on the same data network. You'll be surprised how many people are in network areas which are not great, right, and are latched on to Wi-Fi. How many people are in hotels when they are on international roaming and they don't want to consume their telco network, but they're on Wi-Fi. Yeah? Imagine abstracting out the problem of the phone completely to when you're designing the communication experience. Otherwise, imagine the number of webhooks you are trying to pull out, saying, has the SMS gone? Can I go do another ping to find out location of the user? Can my app call out the last known location to find out if this person is on international roaming or not? These are, it comes naturally to all of you, right? Saying we will figure out a way to deliver this SMS by adding more information. Can we as a platform solve that problem? Yeah? So this is what our developers built. And it was actually very interesting when we thought about it, because all we had to do was to figure out how the network works, what is up with the network, what kind of information is the network giving back, to its applications, and how can we abstract some of this for you and simplify the nuances of a telecom network, right? So if you look at IQ, we call ourselves the first telco grade CPaaS platform. So we're actually less software first, we're more telco first, right? And most of the nuances or strengths of the platform are around telecom, and we did this for a reason. The reason is very simple. We will never be as good on software development as we will be on network. Because that's not a core skill that the company has, right? The core skill that we have is network. How can we build out a platform that software developers can use more efficiently? Was the core idea behind this project, right? And I'm going to today ask each one of you to think about it, saying in the work that you do every day, how are you differentiating, or how are you creating a differential experience for your user using the software engineering part, right? And where are you abstracting out your company's strengths, saying, if delivery is my strength, which is I have a large fleet of delivery boys, how can I best figure out how to get to 35 deliveries per day from 30? Or how do I get from X number of calls per day at a contact center to Y number of calls, right? And this is where when I used to do product for a very long time at Airtel, right? And before they gave me this tough job of trying to manage the IQ business, I was building products. And the most interesting part of the building products is you actually go after a problem statement, and the problem statement is real. You look at what you can do and you can't do, and you double down on what you can do. Yeah. So if you really look at this, right, the example of this omni-channel, you can always figure out the good words to say, which is omni-channel communication platform, is as simple as, can I send out a communication, figure out if it's working or not, initiate the next one using a rule, rather than writing an additional piece of code to make it work. That's a very simple example of what we did. I think I covered the second part, which is if the user is international, it'll go as WhatsApp, right? So the advantage of having a platform like this is you are only designing the experience. You are no longer spending time in choosing how to send the SMS out or in hardening your SMS platform. You're actually going to spend more and more time in building your experience platform, right? And I think it's also similar to the conversation that we had just before me, where I think the gentleman was talking about the glue mesh. It's saying there is work that you need to do to making your systems available, right? And if you look at this is an example of us creating a network of APIs on top of a telecom product, which are all programmable. So the developments that the company needs are based on APIs that are programmable, right? Which gives you back essentially the strength to build anything. I'll give you another example. No, it actually resolves for IoT case also. So the action of SMS or voice or WhatsApp are actions. The feedback of delivery reports are webhooks that come back, and you can design anything you want. So for example, in IoT, right, if your device crosses your geofence, you would want to do some action. That action is the device sending you a data packet back saying this is my current location. Your business rule engine will decide if this device is in the particular area and send out a message to the IoT device. Right? So the you can go, sorry?
Aggregators basically in case of IoT devices especially because Airtel as a telecom provider it might not be available in all the areas. So aggregators will choose
Absolutely. So coverage is the one problem to solve when you look at any communication, saying what is one communication that goes to everybody. Very interestingly, Airtel is the only provider in India that does both 2G and 4G. So in terms of span, we would have the best span. Some competition, like one of our competitors only has 4G network. So there are areas where a 2G device will not work, or areas where 2G coverage will not work on that device. So you're absolutely right. You should look at selection of channel based on your use case of the widest range. For example, if you are a digital company, you may only choose WhatsApp as a channel because 90% of your users are covered on WhatsApp, right? Because you don't have to solve for the feature phone user. You only can solve for your, for your smartphone user. I'll give you another example. Sorry, right? Which was our WhatsApp channel, right? In WhatsApp, if you notice, there is a very simple product which is a P2P messaging service, right? We all use WhatsApp to message each other, message friends, make groups, etc. Businesses feel they would like to communicate with their users on WhatsApp because all of us have stopped looking at our phones now or at our SMS inboxes now, right? If it's not for the OTP of bank, right? We actually, I don't know. I clear out SMS saying select all delete at the end of the day, right? Just because I have OCD saying it has 100 messages, I will just select all and delete, right? So businesses keep coming to me and saying that, listen, I want effective delivery. SMS is not working for me. Can I find out another channel like WhatsApp? The biggest advantage WhatsApp gives you is it's a two-way communication. That you're always on WhatsApp. So you ask a question and somebody replies. It's a rich text media, right? What we did, contrary to everybody else who does WhatsApp, right, or who provides WhatsApp solutions, is we actually did not build any of the bots ourselves. We launched a contest, right, where every engineer was free to build their own bot. We would then host the bot in our marketplace and let anyone use it. So we actually flipped the WhatsApp product model. We said we will not build. Coming back to my example of we are a telco, we are good at abstracting telecom services. We are actually not good at building out digital or software innovation, right? We feel and we very strongly feel there are a lot of people outside who could build this. So instead of building out bots ourselves, we're looking at curating a marketplace of bots built by everyone else. Now, from a business point of view, it makes a lot of sense. By the way, every bot that is on my marketplace gives me money. Because as their conversations and as their volume goes up, the enterprise would pay and eventually that money would come back to Airtel, right? So this is another choice where we said we should be very clear about what we'll build, what value we will give to our partners, and how we will encourage all our partners to build things. Yeah, so I thought, I will today talk only about two examples of what, we did, how we built these things, and happy to take some questions on both of these, on what our IQ journey has been so far. All right, guys, thank you.